There's a scene in Ballerina where Ana de Armas, is it de Armas? Demars? Bruno Mars? Ana de Armas. A mass bomb, a light bomb. Ana de Armas.
Hi, I'm Ian McShane.
And I'm Ana de Armas, and this is the Wire autocomplete interview.
Okay, Ana de Armas. Here we go. She walks into a bar in Prague, I think it is. This is not a joke, by the way. As Eve Macaro, the lead assassin for this movie. And when she's asked what drink would she like, just a coffee will do. That's my girl. I knew already I was going to love this film, and love the film I almost did. So stick around, folks, and hear what I had to say about Ballerina.
Funniest, cheekiest, maddest, filmiest show on earth. A show ka title hai?
Yes, hallelujah, it's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Now, the thing about this movie, it's directed by Len Wiseman. I had no idea until a few days ago. Now, for those of you who know Mr. Wiseman's career, he was married to Kate Beckinsale, and he made the Underworld films with her. Also, Die Hard 4, which people either like or hate in equal measures. I am one of the people that happen to like the film a lot because Wiseman helped to revitalize a franchise that people thought was going out of the window, like Bruce Willis's career at the time, and he brought him back from the dead.
She just killed a helicopter with a car.
How's that, bullets?
Now let's talk about Ballerina, which is all about punching, kicking, and that's just the opening titles. I'm going to drop a couple of minute spoilers in here regarding the opening because this was something I did not expect from a film set between John Wick 3 and 4. So supposedly, and it's never shown in John Wick 3, by the way, and it's kind of retrofitted into this where Keanu Reeves' character is now, hang on a minute, oh my God. Yeah, there's a scene in this movie where it's kind of retrofitted in, where Keanu Reeves is at this ballet academy and bumps into Eve, and they have a few words, and on their merry way they go. And it's quite interesting, that first meeting, because John Wick does give Eve an option about what she could do with her future career as an assassin. We see Eve as a young girl with her father, whose villa mansion is broken into by this evil cult. They get their ass handed to them by the father. He's a real badass. Now, the action, I will say, is pretty good. I mean, it gets better from that opening scene, but it's Len Wiseman. He's not known for doing action this frenetic. His kind of action approach to it is very on rails, very executed, very methodical. But if you're a young James Cameron, or even, I would say, even a young Len Wiseman, or people who like to direct action movies, and you watch the John Wick film and say to yourself, ha, I can do that, you'll find it's not that easy. And the reason why I do say that, because apparently Chad Stahelski, who helmed the previous John Wick movies as director, was brought into this one to help out with the fight scenes, and it shows, because without his assistance, I think this film would have fell flat on its face. Now, this movie runs at 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's very brisk, it's very breezy. I think the only time it slows down is in the first act when Eve meets her future mentor, a black lady called Nogi or No-Go. Now, she's an alright character, but what's very weird, her delivery reminded me of the great Lance Reddick's delivery as the concierge at the Continental Hotel. And yes, you do see Lance one last time in this bittersweet send-off. It was really nice to see him, actually.
I ain't hiring another one of your bimbos, Gino.
Shame he didn't have more scenes between himself and Ian McShane. And again, McShane, always the consummate professional, turns up, chews the scenery, walks on his way as Winston, and gets on with the next glugging down of a very expensive Chardonnay.
You murdering, conniving, thieving cunt.
Ana de Armas, my God, she is incredible. If we loved her as Paloma in No Time to Die,
Or less.
Still gonna need that car. Salute.
Salud.
This character here of Eve Macaro is just an expensive and a very probably watered down, more grounded version of that character. I don't know why I said expensive, but I thought I'll leave it in here anyway. And we do only get to see her once wearing a slinky evening dress when she's sent out on her first assignment. And what I do like about this, and what her trainer Nogi said to her before, is you're weak, you'll never beat anybody as big as you, so you have to, wait a minute, fight like a girl. We're not paying a ticket to go and see a girl boss action movie. We're paying to see what Ana de Armas can do to get us enchanted by her incredible acting, and her approach to action is really, really fantastic. And by the way, her character gets her ass handed to her many times throughout the movie. So the advice that she's given, apart from fighting like a girl, is lean in, not leaning into the meme, although you could do that. I'm pretty sure there'll be plenty of those coming out with Ana de Armas very shortly. But she leans in to fight dirty because her fighting style is very different from John Wick. Can you imagine if they actually made a John Wick game, a video game, and you got Eve as a playable character, or the other character you could play as? That would be amazing. And speaking of video games, Len Wiseman is a big video gamer. He was originally meant to be directing a live-action version for the Gears of War movie on Netflix, and that's kind of stalled for the time being. The last act does feel like a video game because Eve shoots a guy and then it uses him as a meat shield. What they do in Gears of War, right? Does not apologize for stylizing itself on video game action. First of all, you get Resident Evil 4, and also you do get a lot of heavy referencing to RE8 Village, and you can almost imagine that Miss de Armas is playing her version of Claire Redfield or Jill Valentine, which would be absolutely heavenly since Miss de Armas has the physical assets to go with that. She is a lethal weapon on legs. That's what I got to say. With a crazy set of legs and just beautiful to look at. Her acting is off the wall. She really does convince you she is a woman on a mission. But here's where the movie falls for me. Yes, I'm actually giving you some negativity about this review. Now, Gabriel Byrne is the bad guy, and he's a bit of a nothing burger. Again, this theme about abducting children and raising them as assassins is kind of been done to death already, and I wish they'd gone in a different direction, so to speak. And to be honest, when you go into this movie, you don't really... You get the sense that this Ana de Armas, she's not an A-list actress yet, but she could have been with this film. I think if Chad Stahelski were to have directed this, it could have been a different approach altogether. But I think they're testing the waters because they brought in a seasoned veteran like Len Wiseman to direct this film. Now they're going to study the feedback, and maybe 8711 Productions will maybe bring Chad Stahelski in for the sequel, because they've hinted very strongly there will be a sequel to this movie. And we'll see where it goes from there, depending on the box office. Now, by the way, I've got to show you this quickly because Lionsgate did not want you to post negative reviews about this film upon its release. The embargo was the 4th of June. IMDb 7.3 out of 10. So where's the hate? People liked it. Oh, ouch. I was not expecting that. So 59, if you can see on the cut off part of my screen here on Metacritic. So, like I'm saying, it's a great action fest, but the plot and the story, what there was, could have really served the character of Eve Macaro a lot better. But sadly, that's what we have today, folks. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today and the review for Ballerina Constantina, make sure you leave your comments below, your likes, your thoughts and your feelings, and I'll catch you catching me for the return of the next video.